So I continue with the cure. If only the physical reflection of the disease is removed, the real disease, which is in the mind, does not necessarily go. Cure, therefore, must begin in the mind, and the disease, the physical reflection of it's in the body, will then automatically disappear. Wonderful. Correcting the reflection in not correcting that from which the reflection is coming. It is therefore idle to effect a cure, a restoration of the whole man to his normal condition by simply removing the disease, the mere appearance of it in the physical body. And to effect a cure, you have therefore to correct the foundation from which the disease is coming. That is to say, you have to correct the mind. If the disordered mind is brought into order, no further disorder is transmitted to the body. But instead, order as a mind is now in order, and the disease and disorder that was transmitted to it will gradually die out. This is cure. Really good teaching by the master. When we are sick, any part of the body is sick, maybe knee, elbow, feet, ankle, hip, back. Your mind is also affected because your mind is keeping control of the whole body, physical sensations. So it doesn't, it's not only the backache is in problem, it is your mind is also suffering. So if your backache is gone and your mind is free from the backache, I'm in attention, that means you're healthy, you're happy. So I repeat it again, it's a very wonderful line. When disordered mind is brought into order, disordered mind means when my mind is worried all the time, no further disorder is transmitted to the body, but instead order, as the mind is now in order, the disorder that was transmitted to it will gradually die out, and this is cure. It begins in the mind and then it comes to the body. If, however, the bodily or disorder disappear first, without there is a corresponding difference of the mental disorder, take it that is not a true cure. You understand again? If the bodily disorder disappear first, without there being a corresponding difference of the mental disorder, take it that it is not true cure and has been affected. In a case of rustrox or arsenicum, the patient is first quieted in the mind and the physical calmness gradually follows. Very good example. When there is some cases of rustrox and arsenic album, this will affect the mind first. It will give the confidence to the mind. It will control the mind and feelings and sensations. And then the physical condition will get better. Let me cite a case in joint. A lawyer's wife was 5 months pregnant, was suffering from the fever and diarrhea. She was treated by the several allopaths, and after 2 months, when she was about 7 months pregnant, she aborted. There was abortion, and her condition becomes alarming. The doctor was called in at this stage, but the condition of the patient, it could not hold out much hope to be husband. Privileged upon the take of the case, this case, acid mur was given, acid muriaticum. As symptoms and all the symptoms, physical symptoms improved in a day's time, and there was no improvement in the mind. The patient was not feeling case in her mind. Her guardians were all glad to see the physical improvement, but it was compelled to weigh that it was no improvement and the mental condition has not improved. And with the apprehension turned out to be true, the patient died the very day. Serious matter. We have to tell the truth. It was not my patient. This patient was of Dr. Banerjee. So, in the fact, the improvement had not commenced in the mind, and as such, no cure was coming, but only the disappearance of the symptoms and the disease condition. So, we have learned what is ideal cure and cure. Now, how we will know the cure is happening? When the clear sky, there will be no rain. First, there will be cloud in the sky, then there will be thunder, there will be rain. Understand? It's a sunny weather, you can't have rain. But to understand how there is the beginning of the cure, the beginning of the cure begins in the mind. If this does not happen, that is to say, if the patient himself does not feel ease and relief, it is to be understand that no cure is coming. However, much of the physical symptoms may improve. It may happen at times, and the physical symptoms are given or even aggravated on the use of the medicine. But if there is an improvement in the mental condition, it is certain that the process of cure has commenced. It's the beginning when your mind is at rest, when your mind is telling, oh, I'm feeling better, I'm more confident. That means the cure is coming. And if there is corresponding improvement in the physical condition of the patient, alongside the improvement of the mind, the improvement of the mental case and relief, so much the better. Now we say cure is a rapid, gentle, and permanent restoration of health. Mark here, it is not merely a restoration of health, but it is a particular kind of restoration of the health. What is kind? Rapid, general, and permanent. You have to restore the patient to health rapidly and gently and permanently. If the process is slow, it is ungentle or violent, or is the restoration to health is not permanent, it is not cure. If you remove the tumor by operation, the ringworm by a strong acting ointment, or the fever by strong doses of quinine or paracetamol, which you use all of you, most of doctors, is no cure. And these processes are not gentle, though they may be rapid, and the restoration of health, their effect is never permanent. The process of the true cure is always gentle. There is no brute force in it. Many people are taking the medicine for the headache, like migraine and severe body ache and neck ache and joint pain. Every day they are taking the tablet, they're suppressing it, is not cure. Cure means indicated remedy given, and after secondary action, there is no pain, there is easy movement. That is called the cure. So, Dr. Gaurav Kaushal, I can see you. This is special. Yes. Here we are talking about the cure. So, the process of cure is always gentle. There is no brute force in it. It may, however, be argued that at times the action of homeopathic medicine is very violent, but from being gentle. Quite so, yet it is a cure. Let me cite a case. A 7-year-old boy of a reputed lawyer was suffering from typhoid fever. He was treated allopathically for 22 to 23 days. And after that, I was called in. I found the boy in the following condition: motionless. There was no sensation in the eyeballs. And when you touch the eyes or with the finger, there was no sensation. Feet were moving automatically at intervals. No stool for 12 or 13 hours. Abdominal was very bloated. Abdominal was bloated, and there was a high fever. And that day, the temperature was very much normal. I told the father that there was no hope, but yet every endeavor was to make the saving the child. This boy was prescribed Ginkam metallicum 200 in hourly doses until there was any change, and then left, telling the father that I was to be called in if there was any change, which however could not be expected quickly enough. I told the father that there was any improvement to come, I was to come from this medicine. And there was absolutely nothing else which could do the child any good. It was therefore necessary to have patience and patient in the had homeopathy. In such cases, because the scientific method of treatment can hardly help here, however, I was informed that at 9 or 10 next morning, the patient was passing black stool and was crying sharply at intervals. I hastened to see him and waited there for about an hour. The sharp cries gradually developed and the terrible convulsions, so terrible that one could gauge the severity of only by actually seeing it. I felt the eyeballs which with my finger that could understand that some power of sensation has returned to them. This indicates that the patient was better. Very special case. We should not have diarrhea, coryza, headache, migraine. This is nothing. If you treat something special and you see the efficacy and confidence, you can treat serious cases with homeopathy. And I then left the spot by seeing the extreme agonies of the patient. I might have led to give any other medicine, but that would have been wrong. Once there is a cure, no need of medicine. Lot of homeopaths, sorry to say, continue the treatment for the sake of earning money. This is the problem. You can tell them you don't need a medicine. If you have another problem, then you come back to me, I will give you another medicine. But this time you are treated properly and you are cured. A case of cough, severe cough, and the cough was dry, harsh, with a pain in the chest, and the gentleman was drinking large quantity of water. So I asked, what about your toilet habits? He said, Doctor Saab, why are you talking about the toilet habit? I said, just tell me. I want to know. I know I'm treating your cough. Then he said, I don't go to toilet every day. It's very hard, long. That was the Brania case. They don't know about this thing because the cough is linked to the symptoms are linked to the constipation. So I gave Brania 203 doses every 10 minutes. And patient got better. And after 5 days, 6 days, there was no cough. Cough will not go immediately. It may be suppression. Sometimes it goes magically within hours. Then after he came, I didn't give him any medicine. I said, no medicine required. You eat plenty of good food. You eat yogurt, leafy vegetables. And his thirst was also less. He was drinking 2-3 glasses of water at one time. So large quantity of water at long intervals is a direct indication of the brania. So here, this case was treated and it was a very good cases to be noted by doctors here. And it's not, we have only to consider how it is that the action of the medicine was so violent instead of the being gentle. A moment's reflection will show that what looks as the action of the medicine was not the action, but the reaction, or rather the action of the patient. All the morbid product of the disease was kept pent in him, and the scientific doctors in their scientific ignorance. And what else could the patient do then throw off all the accumulated dust in the natural tendency for relief, which tendency was only brought up by the action of the few doses of the Ginkgo metallicum 200. If there was such accumulation of the morbid products or in other products, it was suppression of the disease manifestation. There would have been so much violent endeavor to part of the system for freeing itself of these products. In a case in which there has been no unscientific suppression, the action of the homeopathic medicine and the response of the patient to the medicines are as gentle as ever. If the drain is clogged up with a lot of rubbish, has not the water to push it with force, so as to remove it and make it own way out. We are going natural way. If a drain is filled with something and you push with the water, the drain will clear out. So here we have to be honest with the homeopathy treatment. We should go with the entirety of the disease condition that we have to be removed. The above also suggests that the process of cure is a process of the life force and not a process of the medicinal action. The medicine in the potentized form only gives a start to the normal process or the life force that has unfortunately become abnormal, and not that it is a medicine that acts on. Though it may be the fact with the crude unpotentized drugs as material doses, it can never be case and with prescribed drugs which are particularly immaterial. However, if the process of cure is a process of life force, it is bound to be quick, gentle, and permanent. Let us imagine for a moment that the process is a healthy life force. How quickly, smoothly, and gently it flows, so much so that we are not even conscious of the process. Curative process is a life process and is therefore gentle. So, it is not the process in which the medicine enters the system and opposes itself to the process of its disease life force. If that were the case, then the process would have been not only painful but also short-lived. And in such a case, the process of cure would have ended simultaneously with the ending of the action of the medicine. This happens invariably in unhomeopathic cures, and such they are not cured at all. Take, for example, the case of the fever checked with quinine. That time the quinine was used and paracetamol nowadays. As soon as the action of the quinine is taken, is exhausted, there is a relapse. And the process is not process of the cure becomes. It's not a process of the life force itself, but the medicine against the disease condition or the life force. In cure, much therefore depends on the character of the process. If it is a gentle and quick process of the life force, and this is permanent, and the medicine use is not opposing itself, the life force, but in the contrary, in harmony with it, then only it is a process of cure. So when we are giving any medicine, it should be allowed by the system. The procedures which are allowed in the system helps us to regain health and lead to cure. Forcible disappearance of the symptoms for the short time with the violent effect of the organism is no cure. Again, forcible disappearance of the symptoms for a short time with violent effects is not cure. Homeopathic cure is always gentle, quick, and permanent. It is always a process in which the medicine is not opposed to the life flow, and it is having the harmony with it. This is why it is so gentle. In case, however, where the process is cured under homeopathic medicine, it is all violent, it is inherently due to some previous suppressions. As suppression drives the disease inward and makes it more deficient and difficult to eradicate. And as such, in it, the life process has to exist itself at most for obtaining relief. So we are saying when we are doing something good for our body and vital force knows that what is happening inside is good for the body and for the health. So if you cut someone's arm with a knife, they will report to the police and you will be arrested. And when you need a surgery, then you go to the surgeon and you pay them and he will cut your body part and that will be good for you. So you will allow the surgeon to cut your body. Similarly, the nature process are always giving us, way for the medicine to enter the body, because our all wise preserver, the God, they made our body as such and gave the energy level of understanding. Our vital force is very wise government in the system. While I'm talking to you, but my mind, my body, my heart, my kidney, everything is working. It doesn't mean my full attention was on my words and speech. So similarly, when the medicine is going inside the system for the good, that will lead to cure. Our body know what is good and bad for us. Sometimes we force too much our body and suppress the feelings and sensations and don't believe in the arrangement of the God and nature. Then we feel sick, and at that time we are seriously diseased and very difficult to cure. Complex diseases are formed in the body if we are not going with the natural process. It has almost been explained above that the cure that comes to the result of administration of homeopathic medicine, strictly according to the law of cure, is bound to be smooth and gentle and altogether devoid of any violence. Violence means opposition, as the homeopathic drugs has never relation to the opposition to the disease, i.e. to disease life force, and the relation of similarity, similar syllabus to enter a relation of homeopathicity. Homeopathicity is right word. And similarly means that the medicine which unites the current of the life force and not against it. The subtle potentized drugs which has been rendered as subtle to the life force itself by potentization and which has a relation of the similarity with it, that is to say, which has a tendency to flow with the process of life force instead of against it, restores order at that, and the life force in the mind and in the physical disease is only reflection of the condition of mind. The disappearance of the physical symptoms follow at once. Wonderful. No science in the world can explain you how the diseases are removed from the system and what is cure other than homeopathy. And we are lucky to have our great teachers and masters and senior homeopaths explaining us how the body is cured and how the symptoms are removed from the system. It may be very, very simple, but it's very difficult to understand until you give your full attention and understand each and every process of the natural physical procedures. Primary reaction, secondary reaction is not known by allopathy doctors. They don't know what is primary action. They have got only one action, that is called suppressive action. If you are suffering from any illness and they prescribe you antibiotics, anti means against the body, against the disease. They doesn't care how much your body is suffering, what are the side effects. Each and every medicine has got list of the side effects.
Yes.
Everything is clear, but I told about the cure.